This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Dunedin's new mayor is the youngest to ever take office, replacing outgoing three-term mayor Dave Cull. Umbrellas, plastic ponchos and hoodies were the fashion of the day as revellers braved the rain for this year's Vogel Street Party. And Dunedin's 4 new elected city councillors say they are looking forward to addressing their areas of interest. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Simon Anderson. Dunedin's new mayor is the youngest to ever take office, replacing outgoing three-term mayor Dave Cull. 35-year-old Aaron Hawkins got a chance to celebrate his success with family and supporters as the results for the local body elections came in on Saturday.
Celebrating his success with his 3-year-old son Emil and other family and supporters, Aaron Hawkins is now Dunedin's mayor, and he says he's pleasantly surprised by the result.
Speechlessness isn't something that afflicts me often. I wouldn't say I was confident. I was optimistic that the city would get a good outcome without being confident that I would be the successful candidate.
With three-term Mayor Dave Cull standing down, 14 hopefuls had stood for mayor in a campaign marred with vitriol and accusations. Hawkins secured about 16,500 votes, which saw him squeaking in with a margin of just 14% over his nearest rival, Lee Vandervis.
A lot of time, volunteer time, went into making this happen because we didn't have a lot of money to spend on advertising. It took human effort to get out and have conversations with people and talk to our community about what their priorities were. And the mood in the community, I think, was largely positive. And we ran a positive campaign, and I think that's been reflected in the result, not just for the mayoralty but also for the City Council election.
The Green Party candidate and former City Councillor says he's taking over the helm at a busy time for the city, with the hospital build and Central City upgrade looming as major projects in the city.
I think it was an incredibly important election for the future of the city. There's a lot going on. It's an exciting time in Dunedin, but also a very challenging time, and I think given the significance of some of the major projects and some of the challenges that we have, it was important that we had strong and progressive political leadership to build on the momentum that we've built over the last 2 terms.
Elsewhere in the region, all current mayors were re-elected, including Jim Bolt in Queenstown, Tim Shadbolt for Invercargill, Gary Tong in Southland and Tim Cadogan in Central Otago. We'll bring you interviews with these re-elected mayors in tomorrow's bulletin. In Dunedin, The South Today.
The University of Otago has denied it has plans for an aquarium or marine institute on Dunedin's waterfront. This news comes despite Mayor Dave Cull saying on Friday the university is still interested in the development. It was previously thought the planned multi-million-dollar inner harbour development could also house marine scientists. However, the university says there were no current plans for an aquarium or marine institute at the site. This news follows a proposal to cut 3 marine science academic staff after the department accumulated a deficit of $12 million over 6 years. Another damper on the development has been the year-long wait for a provincial growth fund bid decision. The council is asking the government for a sum believed to be $100 million on behalf of the project's partners. Umbrellas, plastic ponchos and hoodies were the fashion of the day as revellers braved the rain for this year's Vogel Street Party. There's a team debrief tomorrow, but in the meantime the party's committee chairman is enjoying a break in the weather.
Enjoying a relaxing coffee after a busy and wet weekend, coordinating this year's Vogel Street Party.
The success of it is really largely down to the huge positive input put in by all of our volunteers and all of our sponsors and all of our community engagements, so all the events that are contributed. People seem to know that we were going to go on rain, hail or shine.
The annual street party returned on Saturday after taking a break last year, bringing thousands of revellers to a busy but soggy Vogel Street. Street Party Committee Chairman Brendan Christie says about 10,000 people attended the event, and he heard from many happy people during the day.
Community really came through, I think, and it was just wonderful to see so many people turn up on a day where a lot of people would rather just stay at home by their fireplace, I think.
This year's theme was Dunedin Icons, with City Rock royalty The Chills topping the lineup. Christie says alongside the 5-person committee, a huge number of volunteers helped the day run well, regardless of a bit of rain.
Embrace the weather as it being a Dunedin party and that we're just going to go ahead no matter what. And I think a great saying is that there's no such thing as bad weather, it's just bad clothing.
Music was spread across several stages, creating a smorgasbord of sound through the day. There was also a children's area, with entertainers like Shelley J performing and face painting for kids of all ages. There was also a Vogel's Got Talent area for aspiring performers. Next weekend it's South Dunedin's time to shine, with the South Dunedin Busking Festival set to fill King Edward Street with a multitude of sound on Saturday. In Dunedin, for South Today.
Many people took the opportunity in Wanaka at the weekend to take part in a colour run, where coloured dyes were thrown at participants. Hundreds of Wanaka locals ran the 5-kilometre course while being pelted with powdered dyes of many colours. Entrants were asked to wear either a white or a black t-shirt while taking part. Those who began with clean white t-shirts soon found themselves resembling running rainbows. The event is inspired by the Indian Holi Festival and is coordinated by Sport Otago. Business Development Manager Moxie Smith says going for a 5k jog and coming out looking like a rainbow is a great way to welcome spring. Dunedin's 4 new elected city councillors say they are looking forward to addressing their areas of interest. Council staff were out in force in the Octagon on Saturday morning until voting closed at noon, making sure as many people as possible cast their vote.
Casting their last-minute votes in Dunedin's Octagon on Saturday morning as local body elections came to an end on the stroke of noon. Council staff braved drizzle to collect ballot papers from passing motorists, with the final voter turnout being 45%, almost exactly the same as 3 years ago. The election's seen a minor reshuffle amongst Dunedin City's 14 councillors, with Aaron Hawkins upgrading to mayor, Kate Wilson and Conrad Stedman choosing to stand down, and radio host Damien Newell failing to be re-elected. The 4 new councillors are Steve Walker, Carmen Houlihan, Jules Radich and Sophie Barker, and they all say they're looking forward to addressing their areas of interest.
I think we're going to have some challenging times in the next few years with the hospital rebuild and getting the centre city working. I think that's really important. That seems to me to be what people are quite concerned about, but it is about managing growth as well. I think it's really important for us to decide what we want the city to look like and to plan towards that. I think the planning's one of the most important things that we can do.
Well, naturally I'd like to see the groin get built, rebuilt, just that groin repaired. And, I think that's very important for for climate change resistance, and that is a significant protection for South Dunedin. Aaron's very motivated to look after South Dunedin and provide social housing, so it's important that we have a higher beach, a much better beach there, so that everyone living behind that beach can feel more secure.
Well, I'd love arts. Obviously, I've got really strong arts background and business. The startup community and entrepreneurship are my other thing I'm passionate about. And anything with children, because I've got 2 children of my own. So family, sort of things. But for me, business and arts would be the areas I'd love to work in.
The feedback we got knocking on the doors is people are sick and tired of councillors shouting at each other, not agreeing, not thinking about the city first. So I'd like to see the guys and girls working collaboratively on a personal level. Obviously, with my connections to the Wildlife Hospital, I am really passionate about our native environment, and as I said, consistently on the campaign trail, everything we must do must be done within the context of the challenge of our generation. That, of course, is climate change.
The 4 new councillors are set to undergo an induction process to give them the tools to navigate the sometimes complex process of local governance. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, Dunedin's Mayor-elect joins students in a clean-up to honour a fallen student, and former Otago Regional Council Chairman Stephen Woodhead shares his thoughts on the amount of new blood at the ORC. See you after the break.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chin.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Nā mai anō, welcome back. The streets and student flats around North Dunedin are looking a lot tidier after a mass clean-up on Sunday. An estimated 2,500 students and other volunteers took part in the memorial clean-up in memory of a second-year University of Otago student, Sophia Cristani, who died at a Dunedin house party earlier this month.
Coming together in memory of a friend. Thousands of people from all walks of life took part in a mass clean-up of the student quarter on Sunday, after a request from the parents of 19-year-old student Sophia Cristani, who died at a Dunedin house party earlier this month.
It's a great opportunity to get everyone back as a community, rally together and do some good in the community. Obviously it's not the most tidiest place, a lot of students around here, so it's a great opportunity to not only repay the honour of the family and what they want to do, but to get out and do something good for the community. And it's not only students that are out here, there's everyone, older people, families, kids, so it's great to see.
What started as a street clean-up quickly spread into the bushes and front yards of student flats, uncovering troves of old alcohol bottles, broken bikes and used tyres.
It's just lots of bottles, lots of alcohol, lots of leftovers from nights out that I'm sure students have been up to, so it's good though. It's good to get out here and clean up and do a good thing.
In one of his first official roles as Mayor, Aaron Hawkins, as well as hundreds of other Dunedin City Council staff, took part in the clean-up.
I think the turnout at the event today shows just how civic-minded our student body can be. There's not always the reputation that they have or have had, but I think, you know, in terms of coming together, particularly in times of grief, and we saw that again, obviously, in the student response after the events of March 15th. You know, there is fundamentally a positive and civic-minded attitude within our student body.
Otago University Students Association President James Heath says the event truly showed the strength of the student community and was a fitting tribute to Sophia. In Dunedin, the South Today.
The Otago Regional Council has fresh blood after 5 serving members chose not to stand and another missed out. This means new members fill 6 of the 12 positions on the council. These are Hilary Calvert, Marianne Hobbs, Alexa Forbes, Gary Kelleher, Kate Wilson and Kevin Malcolm. Former chairman Stephen Woodhead says in a recent interview The shift in membership will be one of the biggest the council has ever seen.
There's 5 retiring, quite a significant change. So you might, if one of the existing councillors doesn't get re-elected, you've got half the council. So that's a huge shift. That would be the biggest change that's ever occurred at ORC, I'd imagine. It's been a pretty stable governance team over the years before I arrived and since. There'll be a transition that it'll take some time for the new council to settle in, absolutely. And staff are putting a lot of focus in planning for that transition. Experienced people that come on to councils that have other governance experience will pick it up within 12 to 18 months. Others it takes a full 3 years. And so I'm confident looking at the candidates, there's some good experience likely to be elected to ORCs. The likes of Marion Hobbs and Dunedin, and in a Labour Party town, essentially, city, I'd imagine Marion is highly electable. But across the region, there's some experienced candidates.
After the break on the South Today, a fire and emergency service team have returned from an international competition, and we look at the weather heading into the working week. See you soon.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274. If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Miller's Flat Bakery, proudly opening this Labour weekend after a long labour of love. The Restoration Trust has brought back to life this historic part of the main Central Otago transport route. Come see the only wood-fired bakery oven in New Zealand. Turn off at the Miller's Flat Blue Bridge and bring the whole family to enjoy some tasty fresh baked goods the old-fashioned way, before electricity. That's the Miller's Flat Bakery opening Labour weekend.
Thanks for staying with us. Wanaka's Fens Crash Rescue Team have vowed to do much better at next year's World Rescue Challenge following a disappointing result at this year's challenge last month in France. The Australasian champions, seen here in black when they competed in Mossburn earlier this year, came near the bottom of the 34 teams. It was the first time the voluntary team had competed in the challenge, and their team leader says they didn't know what to expect. While the New Zealand team used hydraulic tools, many other teams from around the world employed sabre saws. Judges were also critical of cutting tools being used near patients, which the Wanaka team says is commonplace in New Zealand accidents. The team is taking a break from competitions and continuing their regular firefighting duties. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Dunedin's new Mayor-elect Aaron Hawkins is the youngest ever to take office, replacing outgoing three-term Mayor Dave Cull. Umbrellas, plastic ponchos and hoodies were the fashion of the day, as 10,000 revellers braved the rain for this year's Vogel Street party. And Dunedin's 4 new elected city councillors say they are looking forward to addressing their areas of interest as they serve the city. And now looking at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we welcome Craig Page. Kia ora, Craig.
Good evening. Yeah, we've got more on the local body elections as well, a bit of a wrap up from the weekend. Now we've got the appointments. I guess the focus is on who's likely to be the Deputy Mayor and chair the various committees as well. Aaron said he wants someone who shares the same values and aspirations, and we're suggesting that will be Christine Geary. Right. Both Aaron and Christine were given an endorsement by Dave Cull, of course, leading into the election, so they're pretty close in that respect. She's not commenting, we've spoken to her, but others on the council believe she's a safe bet and she'll get the nod for it. But time will tell in the next couple of weeks, I guess. A bit of a blow for those behind plans for a cable car to get up and running in High Street. They'd missed out on a $100,000 request for funding from the Provincial Growth Fund. Wanted to do a feasibility study. It's something like a $20 million project, so it's big money. They've been told they can't get that money for the feasibility study, so it's kind of back to square one for them. Vowing to carry on regardless and hopefully get that money from somewhere else. Travel pages, we go to Los Angeles, the City of Angels, and discover it's a bit of a dream destination for food lovers as well, apparently. And sport, we're at the business end finally of the Rugby World Cup, playoff knockout contention now. Seems like it's dragged on for weeks.
Yeah, we've been waiting a while for this game, haven't we?
We have. Sports editor Steve Hepburn takes a bit of a look at the quarter-final matchups and has a look at who's got realistic claims to make the semis. Hopefully we're part of that.
Great. Thanks, Craig. And now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, spring blossom resting on the ground after a stormy weekend. Looking at the situation, a ridge of high pressure keeps southern districts dry tomorrow, but cold on the east coast as a northeasterly wind brings low cloud. A front is set to approach on Wednesday, bringing rain later in the week. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport see potential for cloud and 18 degrees. Across to northeast, where Nelson and Blenheim are due for cloudy skies, showers and 15 degrees. Moving down to Canterbury, expect cloudy skies across this area with showers or rain for most. Kaikoura, Christchurch and Ashburton should all reach 12 degrees. Looking at what's in store for the southern towns, you can all expect moderate northeasterlies and mostly cloudy skies. The Catlins heads for 10, Balclutha should do one better on 11, while Lumsden and Gore are both due to reach 12 degrees. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes region, you can plan for moderate easterlies and it's cloudy. Wanaka, Queenstown and Alexandra, you're all heading for 10, but Te Anau, you're the pick of this bunch, heading for 12 degrees. Up to the northern towns, Timaru and Oamaru can expect fresh northeasterlies and rain. Timaru heads for 12 and Oamaru, your high should be 11. It should also be wet inland, with Twizel and Omarama looking at moderate easterlies and rain with 9 degrees. In Dunedin, cloudy tonight with moderate northeasterlies with an overnight low of 9 degrees. Overcast with heavy low cloud tomorrow and strong, gusty, cold northeast winds. Planned for a high of 11 and a low of 9. Still cloudy and cold on Wednesday, with northeast winds easing during the day, looking at a high of 12 and a low of 10. And in Invercargill, fine and cool tonight with an overnight low of 5. Fine tomorrow with sunny periods and high cloud and moderate, mild northerly winds, a high of 14 and a low of 7. Cloud increasing on Wednesday and some rain developing later in the day with freshening northwesterly winds, a high of 14 and a low of 9. And that's the news this Monday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening and week. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.